like 2 hairs past a freckle and you're all awake. Woo! All right, thank you. We've got a lot to cover. Who's ready to learn how to make irresistible offers? Yes, well, as Marnie said, it really is. There's so much you are doing, right? You're here to create joint venture and affiliate relationships. I know, because I see you guys. You're out on social media and you're investing time to attract clients that way. You're doing video, potentially, a lot of you. How many of you are into doing some video? You're being interviewed, all that, right? And all of those things that take a majority of your time to attract clients, unless you are able to convert those new prospects into paying clients, are really, it's all the stuff that's making you feel exhausted and you don't know which way to go. And anybody feel like that? Like you're just reinventing the wheel all the time? Well, once you really learn, when you just make yourself put in the structure, whatever you need to do, and of course I'll have some ideas for you today, to become an expert at converting sales, even a beginner, and then an intermediate, and then an expert, it will make all of the rest of everything you've invested in finally make sense, right? Whether you're doing a blog, or you've got your own internet radio show, or I'm trying to think of all the things you guys do. You wrote a book, you're on Amazon, you're doing telesummits. I mean, brilliant tool, right? You can attract, I mean, I have had so many clients from doing telesummits that came in new and popped their list to 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Let's hear it for Sage Levine, right? What a great concept. We use telesummits. Our own How to Sell to Women telesummit is coming in February. Keep your eyes open for it. But as awesome of a tool as that is, it's really focused on what most other things are focused on, which is attraction. And I just want to, for this moment that we have together, right, to just ask you to sort of clear your mind of all the stuff that's preoccupying you, that's in your inbox that you should be doing, and I promise you 90% of it's about attraction. And let's focus on the thing that has to happen to make all that pay off. You could call this the 10% nuance that you could add to your business that makes everything else pay. Does that make sense? Yeah, and you know what? I hate to like kind of start the morning with bad news, but it turned to good news really fast. The painful thing for me, you know, and I've been blessed to be in this business over 5 years now, hard to believe because I'm only 19, but is, you know, that I watch just the heart-centered entrepreneurs like you, like myself, like my clients. We have clients in 132 countries now. I watch them do all this work to enroll people in new possibilities, right? How many of you, that's really what you're here for? You want to show someone a new possibility? So they open the door, right? And this is my blessing, my mission. Lift people up, show them a new world. And then without the irresistible offer that actually gets them into action to make that possibility real, kind of just like leave them there for regular life to just come closing back in. You know, so I really believe it's like our moral obligation as change agents to know how to make an offer, because it is the offer that causes the transformation. It is the offer that causes the moment of yes, which is what changes their life, whether it's to get into their skinny jeans, right? Or to know how to enroll somebody into college, or, you know, expand their mindset, or help to get them unstuck from someplace that's just, you know, whether it, you know, be relationship or a job or whatever's holding them down. There's got to be an offer, or you don't give the person the chance to say yes. So, if we haven't met before, great to meet you. Hello, Ronnie. I still have your notepad you gave me in my shower. You gave me a notepad you can write on. You can write. I know, that sounds kind of funny, huh? Ronnie, I better say a little more. Ronnie came to one of our events. Actually, he's been to many of our events, and has studied this material. And he heard me say that my best ideas come in the shower. So at the end of one of the events, he gave me a notepad with a pencil that you can stick on the wall and you can write in the shower. So when I get my best ideas, I can actually write them down thanks to Ronnie. Yay! How's that for a great way to get noticed? Okay, which man stole the remote? No. Come on, that's funny. We just... Nobody. I love men. Do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Okay, should work this crazy thing. So, there I am, Lisa Sasevich, if we haven't met before. I'm known by many, if you couldn't already tell what I'm about. I'm the queen of sales conversion. It's just impossible. It's so bad that one time I had a Kabbalistic rabbi come to my home because I wanted to understand what Kabbalah was about. And I invited like 12 of like my high-level friends. Many are in the industry here. I mean, these people each have reaches of 100,000 or more. In my living room, and the guy comes in, and he was so unprepared with how to explain the transformation that he provided, right? And I mean, I gotta tell you how to convert, right? Make an irresistible offer. Because we were like ready to go. We thought, let's do a class like every Thursday. We already knew our nights. All he had to do was kind of like not screw it up. And he did, I'm the queen of sales conversion, so all I could see is like, oh my God, my work is so, thank you God, for this mission. Because, it just went down a terrible path because he didn't have a structure. And that's where we're going today, today I'm gonna give you the structure to make irresistible offers. And I'm gonna show you one elegant move that you can make so that you have the tool to make those irresistible offers in any situation. Whether you're being interviewed for a telesummit, you're on a live stage, you're on a radio show, like wherever you are, that you've got the structure to lead up to that offer. That's our agenda. Because it was a disaster what happened with this, and I was excited to learn. And we were all rooting for him, but he didn't have a structure. So it really, whether you're a nonprofit, whether you've got like, a spiritual bent that you would like to, help the world with, or you're a business mentor, whether you're selling into corporate, you want to listen up because this is critical to you. So, I want to say that when I look back over the last 5 years, here's what I see. I have had, and I admit it, an unfair advantage. I have had an unfair advantage, and I've only recently been able to see this as crystal clearly as I do now. Hindsight is crystal clear. And that unfair advantage has opened so many doors. And what I found is that others who have chosen to give themselves this unfair advantage end up on a similar path. A path like what you see here. Mr. Brian Tracy is like a mentor to me since I was, studying marketing, I don't know how many years ago, right, at San Diego State. I mean, I used to read his books when I was, coming up through Pfizer Pharmaceuticals and Hewlett-Packard in the area of sales, and we'd read his books and go to his trainings with like thousands of people in a stadium, and to have him come to want this, to learn how to have this unfair advantage from me, and then tell all these people about it. I mean, that moment for me when he showed up in my audience was like, wow, I know I'm doing my blessing for this to happen, right? That's how you know, right? It just, you're not having to push so hard. That unfair advantage, which I'll share with you, has put me in some crazy situations. I mean, this is one of those stadium events with like 13,000 people. I didn't even know, Bill Cosby, Steve Forbes, Joe Montana, Karl Rove. Look at this lineup. The list, right? I didn't make the lineup, but my favorite moment was when I showed this to my younger brother. He's 3 years younger. We live in La Jolla. We live in San Diego. He lives really close to me, him and his wife. And when I showed him this, you know what he said to me? He said, "Did you Photoshop that?" Because it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? It does, I know. What's really fun for me, though, even more cool than this, is that one of my clients, who also chose to give herself this unfair advantage, recently sent me the same slide. She lives in Australia, and she was in kind of the Asian version of this lineup. All the, Steve Forbes equivalents, and her exactly in the middle, right? And she's got sort of like blondish brown hair, and then all the Asian men in the dark suits. But it is it was a stadium event, and she's like, I get it about that unfair advantage. This is one of our courses. This is John Assaraf from The Secret. How many of you guys have read The Secret, right? Another example of someone who's just an amazing agent of change, but knows he had to take his attention off of that, becoming more of a brain training expert, and learn how to convert sales. Otherwise, all that publicity, all that getting known, you look back and you go, wow, I had this huge run and I didn't do anything with it. To really have people say yes on the next level for their own transformation. And I met one of you. Was it Dr. Kat that I met when I was coming in to check in? Hi, good morning. It looks like you're all about water, right? And she gave me her card. And whether you've got a cause, whether your cause is your business, or how many of you have a philanthropic cause beyond your business? Raise your hand. This unfair advantage will also serve you here. This is 2 years ago, my first ever Crystal Award, Foundation Champion of the Year for eWomen Network. We raised over $250,000 to help women and children through the various charities that they fund. And it was done through this tool that I want to share with you that you're going to be happy when you hear about how easy it is. So you can use what you'll learn today about making irresistible offers also for your philanthropic causes too. Kind of gives you that double whammy. And I do have to admit that we call our business the invisible close, how to close sales without being salesy. It really works well on Sierra and Elijah, too. Now, I haven't written the parenting book to go with it yet, but let me just say, they love irresistible offers. They jump high when sometimes things are a good idea, but when there's an irresistible offer attached, they come running. So these monkeys are 7 and 10. They turned their birthdays last month. So you can imagine, I've been in business over 5 years. So how many of you are moms? You're kind of juggling to be here. Let me just tell you, I would be honored to be an example for you that you can do it. You can touch people all over the world. I was fired from my dream job 7 years ago, pregnant with Sierra, right shortly thereafter. Elijah was 3, and I had to figure out what I was going to do. And it was scary, and I didn't know. I thought I would be there forever. So I just want to say you can do it, and don't let your kids be the excuse not to. You look around and you say, oh, I see that one, and they don't have kids, and they're able to go. I used to do that. My big turning point was when my kids became my reason to. And one of the biggest things our graduates say is, I am so proud that my kids watched me this year. Yes. Struggling, winning, going through it, that they are watching a person living their passion. Yes. So have your kids be a reason, right? Yeah, for sure. Thank you for getting that. It matters. I want to be here with you. I'm supposed to be here with you. We need to be joint venturing and affiliating. And it's my son's winter sing at 2 o'clock. What do you do, right? So I'll be here through be here for a little while, but it's that you have to have your priorities. And you can do that with this unfair advantage that I'm about to show you. So here it is, right? Enough teasing. If we don't know each other, we've in the last 2 years, just to give you a sense of what this has done for our business, we've been awarded by the Inc. 500. You guys heard the Inc. 500? We were number 169 privately held company in the whole country. From my home, with those 2 monkeys coming home from school in the afternoon and the whole thing. So we were rewarded 2 years in a row. Is that awesome? I mean, that's real business, right? Yes, and I share that with you because I really feel like this was the key, if you ask me what made it happen. And the key is really where we're diving in today, is knowing how to structure and present an irresistible offer in any situation. In any situation. How many of you think you've got a little way to go in this area? You're doing it, but you could be better. Okay, great. I appreciate you saying that. I mean, it kind of helps me know if I have, a room full of people that are I could teach you a few things, Different talk. Now, this is really, simple. This is our model. I mean, Andrea's here with me. She's my director of operations. She started out as my executive assistant off of Craigslist, and now we're years later. So, I want you to know you can start with one person, even part-time, and we still work from my home. We've got an online business manager who's somewhere in Texas. We have a really small team, right? And we've done over $20 million of sales in the last 5 years. Now we contract, copywriters, and I'm not going to pretend we're doing it just with 2 people. We've got now about a 5-person, mostly virtual team. But this is really our model. This is our model of how we've done it. Everything's focused on the irresistible offer because to us, we're a purposeful company. We believe that when people get inspired for the moment of yes to themselves, that's when transformation happens. So I really believe it's my work to, as change agents, for my work to empower you, and my work empowers our work as well. So the ways that we get to that irresistible offer, we don't go crazy trying to do everything there is to do out there to attract people. There's no way I could do that. It's a choice that I made early on. So the one thing I do is I speak. Now, it's not always on a live stage. If you're like, I can't imagine doing that, or that I'm not interested in that, or I don't want to travel, I pick up the phone. I speak on telesummits, I speak on webinars, I speak on radio interviews, right? But what allows for all that, this is gonna sound funny. You think you have to go out and get booked and then get ready? It doesn't ever work that way. I'm gonna say this and we'll see who can vouch for me here. The way it actually works is you get ready. You're ready with what to say. You're ready with your offer. You're ready to attract leads or wherever you wanna point people. And it's crazy, but when you're ready, the gigs show up. Does anybody else have affirmation of this in your life? Yeah. So, and the problem is we never take the time to be ready because everything's coming at us, email. It's one of those things that we know is of high importance, but it's of low urgency until when? Until like the night before at 3 in the morning, right? Or like when you need it. And the problem is, if someone approaches you, and this is sad because I've approached so many people in JV gatherings and said, I really need someone on PR, and they don't know that I'm interviewing them because we have, our own events. So I see it from both sides, and I'll say, so tell me a little bit about the talk that you give. What are the couple things that you teach? And what's the offer that you make? And if there's any hemming and hawing, they don't know that they just missed an opportunity to be on a 400 to 500 person stage. And that is happening to you while you're here. It's happening all the time, and you don't know it. So I speak. I'm always ready to make my irresistible offer through any speaking situation. You can easily be ready for this too. I'll show you how. We sell high ticket, so we love highly invested clients that do the action. We've found that when people invest high, they take action at a high level, and then they get great results, and then they brag about, like Marnie, about how awesome our work was for them, and what it creates is an upward spiral. It says high ticket selling. So we speak, we offer our programs in a high ticket way, we structure them in a way that we can really take people in at a high level, and we use online promo and delivery. And those are the three things that we do. Now, the one thing that spans across the whole thing is the speaking. Because for high ticket selling, I've got to attract people somehow, right? For online promo and delivery, in fact, Sage Levine, who spoke to you last night, with her awesome telesummit course, she actually was an early student of mine, right? Learning this online promo and delivery in a course we had called 6-Figure Teleseminar Secrets. It was actually the place where she got inspired to see the power of this and created that course. So, Milana, I wish she was here at this moment to share this with you, but I know she's prepping for a big day. Milana was told by another very well-known speaking coach, he told her, you should just stay online and do email because you cannot sell and you cannot speak. She'll tell you about it later. And then she decided to take that on. She didn't take no for an answer. And look at her now, right? And honestly, this is kind of interesting. I want to share this with you. It's a teaching point. Can I give you a tip for being here for JVs and affiliates? Do you know how Milana and I really came together? Is she decided she wanted me as an affiliate, okay? And she bought the program, and she became a great testimonial. She spoke, she got amazing results. She learned how to put her signature talk and her irresistible offers together. She started sending me little homemade videos. And I don't know if she's teaching this strategy here or not, but saying like, oh my God, I just got on a stage and did $30,000. Somebody else told me I couldn't speak at all. Lisa, I love you, thank you. I noticed this, right? Of course. She became like my best testimonial. And then what she did is, without coming to me to say, oh, can you reciprocate? Can you promote me? I didn't know her well. She was earlier in her business. She started promoting my courses and telling the world about how much benefit she had gotten and became in my top affiliates. Kind of came out of nowhere. And now, for example, last year, I went to Thailand on Milana because I was one of her top affiliates. So can you kind of see the progression there? Can you take some learning from that? Yeah? I mean, that's what we're doing here, right? This is a secret. People ask me all the time, you know, how do I get some of the people that are further along than me? Do you know? And I said, well, Milana is a great example. And we don't miss a beat on promoting each other whenever we can now. And she caused that, you know, and she now can speak and has this tool. So that's a hot tip for the JV experience here. So this is the model, and the point that I want to make here is really that what fuels all of it is being ready with that talk. And if calling it speaking scares you, because, you know, it's like, what is it, death and speaking are the biggest fears, call it your talk. You know, like I said, you could be sitting behind with the structure behind a phone doing your talk. So having it ready, you have to have it for even the online promo and delivery. If you guys are going to JV with each other, one of the worst things you can do is enroll a whole bunch of affiliates and then not deliver, not convert. They'll never promote you again. So you have to have this piece. Otherwise, it's a waste of everybody's time. I think that's why I'm here at this, and why I like moved mountains to make it happen. Because we all want to promote each other, but we've got to make it pay off both for the clients and for ourselves and for our partners. So I just want to take a look at this idea of speaking. And I do want to look for a minute at the live part, because this is when I kind of found myself with, you know, in the desert of, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? With, you know, a baby on the way and a 3-year-old. Oh, and I didn't tell you, but my then husband was also in fellowship to become a heart surgeon. So I was like pretty alone, you know, and it was scary. What I did is, you know, I saw there was this fee-paid speaking model, and I never felt like I could be polished or organized enough to do that. Do you know, like, you have to know where to stand, and there's all these presentation skills, and I was worried that it would smash my authenticity. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't know anything about it. It wasn't really in my world. But what happened is I stumbled into speaking free. And mostly because I just wanted to give. I just wanted to get out there and show these small business owners, if you just package your offers, it'll change everything. And so I just started to give like that. I started to speak free. And I thank God, you know, actually, thank you, God. You know, really, I started to see that there was a structure I could put in place, and I could, you know, start to get better at it if I did it more and more. And what I loved about the speaking free is, you know, I didn't need DVDs and glossy brochures and anything. I mean, I just needed a little outline of my talk and a headshot. And probably, you know, you guys could have that ready right away if you had some guidance on it. And I would send that out, and people would, you know, see, oh, that's a great topic. So I love what you were working on when I came in. You know, kind of that hook, that topic. That's where we start all our courses, because it serves you everywhere. So I was glad to see that. And it caused an opportunity for a big and lasting transformation. Like I could coach these people. We could have you know, they could say yes, and then we could have a consulting or a coaching, a longer relationship than just like a keynote where I inspired them for 90 minutes and, you know, they left. But keynoting is like an amazing profession. It just, with 2 little kids, I couldn't be on the road 300 days a year, so it wasn't an option for me. So I started speaking free, and it really changed my world. And let me just show you, because, you know, there's a reason you saw Brian Tracy and John Assaraf and Robert Allen and these people who get paid $50,000 and $100,000 to keynote. Why are they learning this? Why are they coming to me to learn irresistible offers? You kind of got to scratch your head, right? Well, here's why. I'm going to show you a micro example of what I lived in Tucson when Michael was in fellowship, and we had the little babies, so I kind of had to figure out a way to make it all work. We didn't really have money for nannies and all that kind of stuff. So I would go to like a local chamber of commerce, a women's business group, you know, a small business marketing group. I would find small places. You can go on to like Speaker Match or what's that one? Meetup, thank you. That was actually one of my main sources, and I would find local gigs that usually were like 30 people in the back of an Olive Garden, right? Remember, you know those rooms in the back of the Olive Garden restaurant, or Marie Callender's? That's really where it started for me. And I would walk out after about, you know, a 60 to 90 minute sharing of how to make irresistible offers, with usually about 6 sales. And I found this to be pretty average for most of my students that are going in with a very low offer. This is what's beautiful about this for you how many of you don't quite have like a product to sell yet? You're not really packaged up. This is what is the way to start. Because I would just offer a couple hours of coaching. People didn't have to think hard about it. It was a great way for me to get in there and really see what they wanted and what they were coming back for and what they would hire me more for. And that's how my products got developed, was starting just getting out there and speaking about what I cared about. So I really want to recommend that. It's the #1 way to get clear of what I call on your dime, of knowing your blessing, is to just get out there, speak, and help people, you know, have a rate. But I would leave with $1,800, you guys. I mean, that's on a lunch break. I'd drop my kids at the Jewish Community Center at like 9 a.m., go do, you know, show up at 11 for a lunchtime gig at 12, be done by 2, and pick them up by 3:30. And I would try to do that an average of once a week. Now, it never quite happened once a week. Something would fall out, you know, so maybe it was like 2 or 3 times a month. So if you say 3 times a month, because I'm really trying to show you like how basic you can start with this. This is how I started. That was $5,400 a month, right? And that meant like I had to do the work to get the gigs, which isn't that hard when you're speaking free, right? And $5,400 a month, that, you know, equated to $65,000 a year, and that didn't count that most of those people would end up hiring me for more. That was just our little starting thing, you know, but they would want to help with projects or introduce me to other people. So that's how I broke 6 figures with this one tool, and it is what I recommend for getting started if you really want to do your own thing. And when you finally do get on a stage or a telesummit or an interview where it's a one-way conversation, right? This is a one-way conversation. You will say the things that are circulating through your audience's head because you spent that time. So it's kind of like paid training. Does this make sense? I call all of this build the plane as you fly it, right? Like I could never afford to just stop and write a book or stop and build a product. I had to keep making money the whole time. So this is the model to do that, to be able to transition out of whatever you're doing and into your passion. And just to show you how fast it started to build, once you speak at a few little gigs, you start, and this is just local, right? You start sharing with other people that you saw speak, you look on the list, see who else speak. It's not that hard to start finding 50-person audiences. And when I did that, same conversion, maybe 10 sales. Now all of a sudden I'm charging $497 because I have a little confidence, or I've put a little product together. I had my ebook at the time. And I only had to speak 2 times a month once I could get to that size. And look what happens. 10 grand a month, right? $120,000 a year. And again, that was the entry to people doing more work. And eventually, that's how I had a list. And then that's how I was able to start offering things like VIP days, teleseminars. That's the key for those of you, you guys just getting started. This is not a conversation to have later. This is the conversation to have right now. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. I'm going to keep checking in, okay? And what happened to me, because I was ready, because I had done all those local things and got started that way, I went to this gig. Maybe some of you were there. It was, right in the beginning, so maybe 5 years ago. It was in Santa Barbara. It was called Master Trainer Camp. Linda Welsh and 2 Lindas put it together. I was there, there was maybe 60 people in the audience. I came, I had my talk. I always had it on my computer. And somebody canceled for the after dinner spot, like where Sage was last night. And I had told them when I got there, I'm here to learn, but I'm ready to speak. And I got to be on the stage. And every time I speak, someone says, I was there. Was any of you there? Well, what happened is, all I had was like an ebook that I hadn't written yet. It was like coming in September. How many of you have an ebook you haven't written yet already? See that? And then I had a power hour, which was basically an hour of coaching, and you got the ebook that wasn't written yet free. And then a coaching series where you got a number of sessions. And from those 60 people, to my own surprise, I did $10,000. Yes, not from a month and 2 50-person gigs, but from being there, not even being booked to speak, but being what? Ready. Thank you, being ready. So I started to think, after that was life-changing for me, because my goal was to learn how to make $10,000 a month consistently, and I was having that happen with the gigs, but this showed me like a much bigger possibility. Anybody else just want to get that 10 grand a month consistently? Right? I know, trust me, it feels like yesterday. So all of a sudden, I have this flashback. To my dad. Now, my dad was a world-famous ventriloquist. I was born in Miami Beach, right? He's Orthodox Jewish-ish. And, and he got in during the Latin craze, which is still going on, right? So imagine being in Miami Beach and having a dummy that popped out of a conga. He'd get on the stage, go, "Babaloo!" And then he'd be like, "What's in my conga drum?" And then the dummy would pop out, and he'd start saying Latin Yiddish jokes. It went over really well. In fact, it took him all the way to playing the solo on the stage at Radio City Music Hall in New York. He opened for Xavier Cugat. He was on Ed Sullivan many times. I mean, he had like a real career as a ventriloquist. So, in fact, that's Chico Chico, the Latin Jewish dummy. That's my dad when he first started. So, so briefly, after that $10,000 experience, I thought, you know, what's the natural thought? I want to do this again. And the clients were awesome. We had been connected live. They showed up. It was like, this is business nirvana, right? So after that experience, I had this flashback of something that my dad, who passed away 2 years ago at 82, like playing golf, like he lived till the last moment. He used to say to me, you know, when your parents get older, they start repeating the same thing, like you never heard it before, the same story, that, you know, there's like a lesson or an adage, and you finally realize that they're just trying to pass something to you that they really want you to get while they have the chance, right? So thank goodness I knew that that was happening. I listened as much as I could. Sometimes it was frustrating. But there was one thing he said over and over that hit me after I stepped off that stage in Santa Barbara. And it's really been the core, I realize, of having this unfair advantage. Can I tell you what it is? Yes, yes. My dad, Eddie Garson, said to me, "Lisa, don't change your act, change your audience." And that is exactly what I set out to do. So the unfair advantage is really to be ready with what I call your signature talk. It is a structured way to lead to your irresistible offer. And if you are ready with both your signature talk and your irresistible offer, that was the key to all those opportunities that I showed you and many more. And more important, it's been the key for our clients all over the world. I'll share some really fun examples with you. And the great thing is that that one tool opens the door to all the different ways that you want to play as a joint venture partner. Being interviewed on a telesummit. Do you think you're going to be able to really make that pay if you don't have a signature talk and an irresistible offer? For those of you, how many of you are in like corporate, you can't whip out an order form, or you know, you're in academia, right? That's no problem. There's always an action you want them to take. So your signature talk might lead to a booked appointment, right? And so that you don't have to do a presentation and then do a ton of follow-up calls. It's like all set the minute you step off the stage. So many examples. We have people helping people get into college, you know, just relationship work, just everything you could imagine that have a signature talk and an irresistible offer. That has been my unfair advantage. Thank you to my dad. I've had the same signature talk for 5 years. Really, I do the same talk on the stage with Dan Rather as I did when Marnie had me come out to talk to 10 women in her mastermind in Del Mar not that long ago. I think it was 12 and like 9 of them got it and decided to follow Marnie's lead and get their signature talk done. So this tool will save you countless hours of reinventing the wheel every time you're asked to speak, to be interviewed. And if you want to be asked, if you're not being asked, trust me, make this tool and you will have a whole different energy and opening to be asked. I hope you can see that. So what I want to dive into is this thing, the offer. What is an offer? What's the mindset you need to have? And really the secrets to crafting that offer. And then we'll take some time where I'll actually show you the signature talk formula. You know, I'll get you started on what the different steps are that you can see it. It's not something where you have to say, I want to do that, and you don't even know what it is. I'll show you exactly what it takes. And for those of you that want to take it further, I would be honored to be able to mentor you to get this tool done so that you can make this JV experience really pay for you. All right? So quickly, what is an offer? What is an offer? When you hear the word offer, what are some of the things that come to mind?
Prostitution.
Prostitution. All right, long night here last night, huh? But you know, I'm making a joke, but a lot of people do hear that, like I'm going to have to sell myself or trade myself, or someone else is kind of doing something that they just want the money but they don't really want to, potentially. There's a lot behind that. So while it was funny, it's also very deep. Yes, you can yell it out.
Uh-oh, this is going to cost.
This is going to cost. Yeah, okay.
A possibility.
A possibility. Great.
It's giving your gift.
Giving your gift. I love that. Participating, right? A benefit. Last one.
Investment.
Hello, investment. So, yeah, an offer has all those things, right? And I want to distinguish so that we can be speaking the same language. Everything you're talking about, and I'll give it like a neat little definition, offer, and then we'll jump to irresistible offer. There's a difference. So, an offer, okay. By the way, I just want to check in with you guys because I'm trying to look at my timer, but it's not moving, and I could just go on and on. So if you could adjust me so I know where I am, because I would love to spend the whole day with these guys. Is that where I am? That's what the time that I have? Okay. Yay! What's that?
You're stopping time.
I'm stopping time. I love that. I just read a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. He talks about Einstein time. It's really cool. The fact that time comes from you versus at you is very life-altering thought. Oh, yes, thank you for asking. Sorry about that. I would never have known. Yeah, I want you to get every morsel of where we're headed right now and where we've been. So, anything else? We good? Okay. Can I get anybody some water? Okay, so what is an offer? So this alone, if you can really get what I'm about to share with you, it's big. It's the start to everything we're building here with your offer and your signature talk. So you want to think of your offer as made up of two parts. Your offer equals the outcome or the transformation that you provide, that you uniquely provide, right? Like we might have 30 people in this room who do different kinds of belief change work. Well, let's check. How many of you do some kind of belief change work? Okay, let's say 100 people, 200 people, right? But your offer equals that unique outcome that you specifically provide. Plus, the service delivery, how you provide it. Do you do that with a one-on-one session? Is it a teleseminar? Is it over the phone? Do they have to come to a live workshop? Maybe it's an ebook. Like, what is the way that you do it? What's the way that you provide it? And the first thing I want to teach you about making an offer is that when you present your offer, whether it's a live stage or you're putting it into a sales page online, so in any format, the thing that will blow the doors open from anywhere you are right now is if you start to focus 90% of your energy, your attention, your words on the outcome, and 10% on how they get it, 10% on the service delivery. Who can already see there may be a slight adjustment you could be making? I'll give you an example, because if this hasn't hit home yet, I'd like to make sure that it does, because it makes all the difference. I mean, this is how people can like come into our courses and they're only through module 1 and they're writing us, I had a 2,000% increase in sales. It's amazing. It really gives you an unfair advantage to think this way. What happens is we will present, and you'll see this wherever you go and you're listening or watching someone speak, we'll present about the outcome or the transformation that we have. We'll talk about it. But when we go to make our irresistible offer, we get all wrapped up in the service delivery. And it's a 300-page ebook, and then I'm going to throw in a 12-interview series that I did with the best people in the health industry. And plus, you're going to come to a 3-day event, and we're not 9-to-5ers, no siree. I mean, you're going to be there at 8 in the morning, and we're going till 9 p.m. 13 hours of value every day, right? Try to beat that with a stick. So it's like, you know, as you see, when you fall into that trap, which we all do, I have to continue to do the push-ups and the sit-ups and discipline myself around this. When you fall into that trap, can you see how it actually is disempowering? I mean, who's got 13 hours a day, or who's got time for 12 CD set? Aren't the like 5 modules you're teaching me going to do the trick? Right? Isn't the half day with you going to work it out for me? Do I really need 72 more hours of recorded calls? Right? So, and in today's life, it's overwhelming. It takes away from what you're doing. So, focusing on the outcome, when you say, look, you know, when you have that signature talk together, you're going to be confident, you're going to be ready, people are going to feel your energy. It is the thing that turns it around for people all over the world in every industry. And the awesome part is, it's 5 modules, you can do it from anywhere, and you will have my assistants to help you. Right? You see the 90-10? Feel that. No. Who thinks you can start implementing that right away? Yeah? And I'm talking online, on the phone, on a stage, one-on-one. Here's the thing to remember. They are buying the destination, not the plane. Stop selling the plane. Now, if it helps you at all, I have studied this for a while, and I know, little piece of background info, the why. I know why we all get wrapped up in selling the plane. You want to know why? Because we want credit. It took so long to record those 12 experts and interview them and get their bio and schedule an interview. You know, that ebook that I finally did write, The Invisible Clothes, it's now a product, you know? I had to like lock myself in a room, you know, and get a babysitter. So we want credit, but here's what you really have to remember, because you're purposeful, you're heart-centered, is, of course, you know, we want credit for that thing, but they don't care. Sorry, they don't care. Do you know? What they care about is they want the destination, and you want them to have the destination, so you're aligned in that. So stay aligned in that place with them about the destination that you really came for them to have, and you'll do so much better with your offer. Straight out. Like if we never heard another word I said, I bless you with that. Good, good? Okay, now let's talk about the mindset. We have to touch this for a moment. Anytime I get more time with you, courses, online, live, whatever it is, we always have to go here. Because I can teach you all the tactics, all the strategies, but if your mind is telling you, you know, no, or you're afraid, right? It's not going to work. So this is the biggest piece. Why make that offer? And how many of you have done it? You've like been all geared up, you've kind of like got to the edge of the diving board, ready to go, and then you went like, I'll just give them my website address. I'll give my anybody ever done that? Come on. So here's the thing that happens with that, because you know I want to kind of make it hurt a little so you don't do that again. Is you know, as we talked about earlier, it's a disservice not to. We talked about the disservice it is to the client when I first got up here, right? Like you open the space of possibility, and then you don't give them something to say yes to. You don't give them a chance to actually step into it. And trust me, when you see a new possibility, like I'm opening a space of possibility, lifting you up so you can see a new world that would be available if you were ready with your talk and your offer. Are you guys seeing that world? If I don't give you something before I leave here to put a wedge into your life that you will get it done, it won't just stay on your to-do list, you know, of a someday maybe thing. Like if you have that, right? Yeah, I knew I'd get somebody. If I don't give you a wedge to make that real, it's not going to happen. And it's the same when you talk to somebody about having great health or wonderful relationships or communication. So it's your responsibility. It's a disservice not to. But here's the worst part. That's kind of like how it hurts your potential client. Let's talk about how it hurts you. When you go out and you do all the heavy lifting through social media and JVing and speaking and everything to educate the world about a new possibility, and you don't give people a chance to step forward, you are spending all the money and taking all the time, you know, away from your family, away from yourself, to educate the world and do all the heavy lifting for your competition. And I know we'd all like to think there's no competition, but trust me, the next feng shui expert that gets up to speak after, you know, somebody heard you a month ago, They totally got the awesome possibility of feng shui and how it could open the business flow in their office and the relationship flow in their bedroom and, you know, their health flow in their kitchen. And then you said, here's my website. And then they hear a month later, they're at some little networking event, and somebody else you've been doing it 25 years, by the way, and somebody else gets up that's like 6 months into it, just took like feng shui training online, right? They stand up and go, womp, 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 feng shui, and for $4.97 today, you know, I will come out and feng shui your home. And everybody runs to the back, right? Because you did the work, you opened the possibility, and they gave them the chance to say yes. And that, I hate to say it, but when I lift the hood on most people's business who are getting started, that is what I find. You guys are funding the people who are making offers. We don't want to be doing that. This is your work to do. It's so easy. So first tip, make the offer about the outcome and just a little bit about the transformation, about the service delivery. They need to know how they're getting trained. You can't leave that as a mystery. But we really want to make sure that they are wanting that destination. The next thing, make the offer, right? It's a disservice both to you and your client not to. And this is a great example. How many of you have followed the career at all of JJ Virgin? Have anybody been watching her career? Health and nutrition coach with like personal training in gyms and teaching people how to eat. And in the last couple of years, you know, she has risen from making irresistible offers really to having $1 million book deal, $2 million book deal next. She does the Virgin Diet. She's on PBS right now. They're rerunning the show. She's killing it. You know, this is somebody that's a perfect example, like what we said. How many of you are in the health and wellness field? Look around. Kind of like belief change. There's a ton of people. How do you differentiate yourself, right? JJ did this work to learn how to make irresistible offers a couple of years back. I want to say it was 3 or 4 years back. We were both just kind of getting started, right? I don't eat anything that's not JJ approved. She doesn't speak at all that's not, you know, in our structure. So that's our deal. And I never forget, and I want to say this to those of you that might be having that little excuse like, well, my clients are different. I speak to doctors, or I'm in corporate, or they're affluent. I have helped people in all those areas to use being ready with an offer and a talk to expand their business. People who work with CEOs. So don't knock yourself out of this conversation with that little, my clients are different. Trust me, there is not a situation that cannot be formed to advance your business with what I'm teaching you. So don't block out because of that. So JJ thought that. I'm speaking to doctors, I can't make offers, and she was listening to the first module on how to get your signature talk and your irresistible offer done, driving from LA to San Diego, and she got there, and it was 12 doctors, and she was teaching them a nutrition system that she wants them to offer in their office. And she says, I learned how to go into a talk, give it, and get the whole room on fire, not just on fire, but on fire to take action, and take action with me, and that's huge. And I want you to show you how powerful what you've already learned just from our time together is. All she did is she focused on the outcome. We already learned that, and I'll teach you about a limited offer next, how to make it limited. And she did that with the doctors at the end of her talk, not really, you know, just barely understanding what she was doing. And she wrote me and said, I closed 125% of the room. Maybe too many protein shakes this morning? You know, how did that go? Well, what happened, she actually got one over on me because, and this has happened so many times now, that now I get it when they say 125%, is that she told them that if they wanted to run through the program, that she would do like a special program for them. It had an investment attached, but she would need at least 15 people. So the 12 of them signed up, got on the phone, and got, you know, wives and office staff, and she left with 15 people, and a course started. Just for making an irresistible offer to an audience that she felt, like I know some of you are saying that to yourself, that she couldn't make an offer to. It's not true. So that's how powerful what you've already learned is, and we'll get into the other part about limiters now as we talk about the mechanics. Can you guys handle more? Yes. Okay, so the mechanics have to do with the irresistible offer part. So the offer is the transformation, plus how you deliver it, and now what makes it an irresistible offer, part 2 of what we're learning today. And these, I'm gonna make it really simple. If you can remember these 3 simple elements, Whenever you go to structure an offer, just remember these 3 elements, and you will be ahead of 90% of people who are not taking the time to understand this. And again, it's your obligation. You're here in the JV and the affiliate world. You've got to structure powerful offers, or people are wasting their time by promoting you. So number 1, your offer always has a main dish. The main dish is the main way that you're going to deliver that outcome or transformation. So the main dish here could be that it's a 3-day workshop, right? Or the main dish might be it's a 5-part teleseries. The main dish might be a VIP day with you or a 10-call coaching series. Does this make sense? And it's within that structure, like if everything else fell away, that's really what they are investing in, is that main dish to deliver that outcome or transformation that they want. So that's the first part. So you always want to be, what's my main dish? And then, aside from the main dish, you want to really think of these separately. There are what? Bonuses. And a few things on bonuses, okay, fair game to jot this down. The bonuses should be few and tightly related. I've already shared with you why they should be few. Why is that? Overwhelm. More is not always better. Now, if you're going to have more, then really make sure that you are following the second part, which is tightly related. So, if somebody, for example, is, let's say, going to take my advice and say, you know what, you're right. I'm going to get my signature talk and my irresistible offers together because I want to go into 2014 with that tool, right? What would be something that that person, once they were ready with their talk and their offer, what's something that they would need?
Platform.
Yeah, they need to they need to get booked. You know, they need to get on platforms. They need to know how to get booked. Maybe they need emails for that, strategies for that. So an example of a tightly related bonus is that when we offer our program to get your signature talk and your irresistible offer done, we watch who the action takers are because we know those are going to be our success stories, so we want to know. And we give them, the Get Booked Toolkit. Because we know they're going for it. They got up fast, they're going to consume the product fast, and they're going to need to get booked probably earlier than folks who kind of straggle in later. So bonuses should be tightly related so that, so that when you pop that bonus, when you share what that bonus is, whether it's on a teleclass, a sales page, or from the stage, it's like, oh my God, I would buy that anyway. And if right now I can get it included, that's where the irresistible starts coming in. Make sense? It's, why wouldn't they just wait till when they're ready? Because there's this great bonus available now. Now that has to tie together. Oh wait, I want to show you a great example. This is really cool. This is a guy named Ari Galper. Anybody familiar with Ari's work? Yeah. He teaches different sales strategies, non-salesy sales strategies, and I believe he won Info Marketer of the Year from Dan Kennedy. You guys know the Glazer Kennedy organization a couple years back. And he had the opportunity to speak on that big stage, like a very big honor in the industry to speak on that stage. So he used his signature talk formula and his irresistible offer. And again, he focused on the outcome. He just stayed focused on the transformation. He flew in from Australia, and he's got 3 kids, and the youngest with Down syndrome. So it was a big deal for his wife to, cover the fort while he came out to train, came out to do this. Like, he really went for it, and he had a lot riding on it. And she had a lot to manage at home while he was gone. She needed it to pay off, right? And he wanted to make a difference for those people. So I want to give you a hot tip on bonuses. You ready for the biggest time-saving tip in the world about bonuses? Come on, really. I'm going to give it to you. Yes? Okay, I'm serious. I don't always say this, but you guys are going to say, you're going to be sitting at your desk one day, agonizing over a bonus, and you're going to remember this, and you're going to go, I love you, Lisa Sasevich, because this has helped me so many times. But what he did also, so he ended up doing over $200,000 a stage with his signature talk. I mean, I cried. When he sent me the picture of the table rush at the back of the room, I cried. That's a bouquet of chocolate-covered strawberries, because that's my favorite. So he sent that to me. So it's a small bouquet, but there's like a dozen strawberries in there. So this is a tip on bonuses. Your best bonuses, ready? They already exist, usually tucked somewhere in the product that you're already promoting. So your best bonuses, you don't need to go create them, you don't need to go, spend hours interviewing a bunch of people or creating a new CD. If you look and you really lay out every element of the system, assuming for those of you that you have, how many of you really feel like you have figured out a system, there's like 5 steps to get a certain result? Okay, how many of you need to do that work? It's kind of next for you to be able to sell well? Okay, great, we can help you. You look through that system, and I promise you there is something like, kind of think of it like hiding in a dark closet hallway that you forgot about, or that you're not articulating it in a way that pops, that you can pull out and make a bonus. And that's what we did with Ari. I'll give you an example. He was selling a thing that helped you to connect with your clients online. So if they came to your website, you could say, hello, James. He had a whole script. What are you looking at today? Or, I see that you're looking at, so you chat live with people when they got onto your website. What would be the biggest concern for you? You thought, wow, that'd be really awesome, but how am I gonna be on my website 24 hours a day, right? So tucked like somewhere in a back corner of what he was already providing is this toolkit for how to man the site 24 hours a day with very inexpensive help from around the world and the scripts to have them do that. I mean, it was like a $1,000 product on its own, and it was like hiding down the hall and in the closet, like the last point of module 5. So we took it out, gave it a name, gave it its own cover, and for the first, X number of people, they got the how to, have this manned inexpensively 724 toolkit, whatever it was called, right? And I think it was 54, the first 54, and if you do the math on what his offer cost, that's pretty close to what he did. It popped the whole thing and it already existed. Does this make sense? So huge assignment for you, right? You go through and you find those things that you're doing that are awesome, that you're getting no credit for. And it doesn't just serve you guys. This isn't about like stretching it out and getting one over on your client. People didn't use that. They didn't see it. And now they have reverence for it. They're using it. They're making it pop. So it really is a win for everyone. It was the same with our Get Booked Toolkit. It used to be like a line item in Module 5. Now we pulled it out. We've beefed it up. We've included all the emails that I've used to, get booked everywhere. If I want to book on a telesummit, all the tips that we have, how to turn an audience into 5 more bookings, from being there. And we put it in the Get Booked Toolkit. And now it's its own thing. People would buy it separately. Hot tip? Yes. Okay, cool. You got to show me that you got room for more. Do you have room for more? Okay. Okay, cool. Excuse me. Okay. So there's one more element. Want to hear the third one? Yes. So we've got the main dish. We've got the bonuses. The third element is limiter. The limiter. So it works hand in hand with the bonus. There's 2 kinds of limiters. Jot this down. You can limit time and quantity. Time and quantity. What do I mean by that? I mean that in different situations, right, and we will show you, if you choose to work further with us, which one do you use on a teleseminar, which one do you use in a webinar, which one do you use on TV, which one do you use on a live stage, when do you use both? If you use the wrong one at the wrong time, it can actually work against you. But an example would be on a live stage, a limiter would be time, right? So generally, your offer would just be available when you get off the stage. It doesn't serve your audience to be thinking about it for the next 2 days of the conference. They need to be present for the next thing that's happening. Indecision will kill all success and possibility. So the thing I have had to train myself for because I was like an analysis paralysis person 5 years ago. I'd do surveys and ask everybody's opinion that wasn't even there, do you know? And they're helping me make decisions and they weren't even in the possibility. Now I listen, I see the possibility, I take the action, yes or no, and I trust. And when I get stuck, I can feel it in my whole life. So I work hard to get unstuck as fast as I can. It may take a while, but man, I am working on it. So limiters do that. That's your way to contribute, is you don't need your people thinking about it. You're gonna, there's nothing more you need to know. I'm here, I'm telling you what it is, I'm showing you other people, myself, and that's the structure of the signature talk, is to give your audience everything they need to be able to make a decision. That's really what the structure is for. In any situation that they have, that you've done the job, right? Like that Kabbalah rabbi, if he had just had the structure, you can see it now, to give us what we needed in order to make a decision about if we wanted to learn more, we'd have 12 really awesome, very, people that could really spread the word, learning this new idea. Well, it's not new, it's been around for a lot of years, so. But new to them. So that's how important it is. So the limiter on a live stage, as an example, would be time. It's like, right now after you speak, you stick around. And the quantity limiter would be something special, and we always do this. So the first people that take advantage of our offer get something killer. Do you know? It's something they would, if they're interested in this offer, trust me, they would buy it anyway. And most of them do. But the first people, they get it now. So that's an example. Does that make sense? Of time and quantity? Now, just to show you how sensitive this is and why we go deeper into it when we're teaching you to put together your signature talk, the course is called Speak to Sell. If you did that on a teleseminar, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I'll just show you one example. Want to see what I mean? Yes, please. If you got on a teleseminar and you did a today-only offer, only 30% of the people that signed up for your teleseminar are going to show up. You just told the 70%, the majority of them who might listen to a recording later, you will get in touch with them through your email marketing later, that they're pretty much missed the boat. So we've got to show you how to structure your irresistible offer different for a teleseminar. You with me on this? Okay, you guys are good. You can tell you're in the game. Here's an example. The Lee says, first X number of people get the Get Book Toolkit. That would be an example on a live stage of showing a limiter with the irresistible offer. So I think you're kind of getting the picture that selling well from speaking does not require any unique talent. It's not about personality. You never want to compare yourself to the person speaking. Like you say, well, Lisa, you're, I don't know, funny, you're funny looking, or whatever it is, right? But I don't have that. It's like, it's not about that. Everybody can get up here with their own personal style, get on the phone with their own, whether you're serious, whether you're funny, whether you're analytical, right? Your tribe is out there that needs it just that way from you. The thing that you have to include is the formula. You've got to have the structure. I want to tell you, can I get some more water from the team, please, with no ice? I would tell you that if anyone tries to help you script a talk, run. Like, can you really be connected and authentic in yourself? No. And then for those of you who are like, I'm an entrepreneur because I want to be free, I don't need structure, that's why I'm not in 9 to 5, I'm not in Cubicle Nation, right? Well, the problem with that is you turn into exactly what you don't want to be. Because you're free, and then you realize you need to make money, so you start pushing, and you start selling at the end, and it sounds really bad, and people go like, what happened to that person? The structure does the work the whole time, and if it's a video launch, right? It's the same tools. Positioning yourself, seeding, reverse engineering, having an irresistible offer. It's the same tools, so you get this one tool down and you're really ahead of the game to do any of the things that you need to do in this industry to joint venture, to spread the word, to get out there and make a difference for your tribe. So the way that we teach the structure is through the Invisible Close Signature Talk formula for stages, webinars, and teleseminars, and a million other things. And what I'd like to do, since I've got some more time with you guys, is show you the structure. Would you like to just see the formula, the 5 steps? And of course, I can't resist, as we go through each module, I will give you something that you can immediately apply. And then for those of you that would like to actually get this going, I'll make it ridiculously easy for you to work with me. Sound fair? Okay, let me get a drink of water here. And I'm glad that we have the time. Let's give some appreciation to Milana and Rich for giving me this time with you. Yeah. Thank you, Rich. Rich comes to our live events, and it's like I never get to give you a hug and see you. You know, I always get an email later, hey, we didn't get to connect, bud. I'm like, ah! So I was glad we got to connect this morning. By the way, I have to share this with you. As I'm sharing this structure, I want to make it super valuable for you to see the steps, to understand what the process is, to be able to take steps right now and getting it going. But also, I want you to see the different ways that you can use your signature talk in different environments. So this is really funny. These are like hotel sticky notes, okay? But literally, we have over 2,300 graduates now that are using their signature talk out there successfully. Who are they? They're the people you see. Do you know? Yes, they're the Ravens, they're the Sages, they're the Milanas, they're the Riches, they're the Frank Kerns. He's got his signature talk done. You know, like it's Jeff Walker, if any of you saw him do 360,000 from the stage at Brendan. So it's unknowns, it's knowns, it's every industry, right? So we get a ton of letters every week. And I pulled these from my email because I was thinking about you guys that are JVing. And what I want you to see is, I want you to look for where would you use your signature talk, because I don't want you to just hear it from the stage. So here's a quick example. So how many of you are doing webinars? Okay, so listen to this. Did anybody know Clint Arthur from Celebrity Launchpad, right? So I don't know if this is like means something, but I showed you Ari Galper, who won Glazer Kennedy Info Marketer of the Year. Well, Clint just won it. Clint just won it. He's a client. He was at Speak to Sell in May. And here's what he said that I want you to know. Oh, are you here, Allie? Allie? Allie doesn't get up this early. No way. But this is what he wrote. I had to take notes, but he said, before Speak to Sell, I couldn't close more than 10%. I did 35% at Eli Davidson's live stage. I did two $50,000 talks since I learned this in May. And I just won Glazer Kennedy Info Marketer of the Year. It's so huge to finally get the recognition from the industry, you know, I mean, and my peers and my mentors. So I picked that for you because that is what you're doing here, right? You have to get recognized by your peers or your mentors, or this whole JV idea that you've invested in doesn't work. Now here's another one. How many of you, this is for you, that are selling, you attract leads and then you sell them on the phone? Strategy sessions, any of you doing high ticket selling on the phone? Okay, listen to this guy. Robbie Kramer came through the course. He's a dating coach. He teaches men how to find the women of their dreams. He said, I struggled to enroll clients and worried that I'd have to get a job instead of doing what I love. I did $250,000 this year since I learned Speak to Sell. I have over 50 men in my mastermind. I feel confident and prepared on stage and in conversations with prospects. So he's using Speak to Sell to attract men to his free intro, to phone calls, and then he's, you know, closing them from there. It makes the phone calls so much easier when they've already heard you and you've already given value. As you can see, the structure is to teach, to give value, which is what we want, but to still show people how they can get more, to not give away the whole store, but to serve deeply. How many of you give away the whole store? Yeah, I know. We'll show you how to avoid that. And then online, how many of you are doing business online already? Okay, check. So think, as I go through the structure, think of yourself. Linda Allred. What I love about Linda is she's 72? She's going for it. Linda's going for it, late in life. For her, she feels like it's early in life. She's the bad habit belief breaker. So Linda, at 60 plus, I would freeze when it came to making an offer and stumble all over my words. Anybody relate to that? So she decided to take it online. She did her first $30,000 launch from a virtual Wait Off Now program and made my offer confident, assured, and with a smile on my face. So that, and then the other person I want to show you, because I know some of you, how many of you are in can't sell situations? Corporate, you know, anybody else? Like where you have an audience where you're not going to whip out an order form. Only 3 people? Oh, come on. Yeah, if you're in a situation where you can't sell like with that type of model. This is Rochelle Lawson, the queen of feeling fabulous. She's a nurse that educates in corporate. Okay, and so she's doing big corporate trainings. So she said in 14 months, I've done $92,597 from stage. Prior to Speak to Sell, I educated and sold 0. Because I've been ready with my signature talk. This is, hear yourself here. I've done this year 8 live stages, 14 telesummits. She's been interviewed on 14 telesummits. The word gets out when you're ready. We all ask each other, who's ready? 6 webinars. And prior to Speak to Sell, I had spoken 1 time. She's shy. She's really shy. Let's see, 5, this is the cool part. How many of you are fee-paid speaking already? Who's in that model? Okay, I want you to find yourself here. I have 5 events coming up where I'm being paid to speak and I can sell. So you can actually do that. Most people don't believe that, but when you learn that what I'm about to teach you, you'll see that you can. And because I was ready, just like you, Lisa, I got to fill in on the last-minute gig, and I made $15,250 from that. Is that so cool? So she said, in no-sell environments, just since May, I've added 1,300 people to my list in 9 months? That must be March. Okay, since March, I've added 1,300 people to my list in 9 months. 1,300 people, because she still uses the formula and goes ahead even when she's not allowed to sell. Can you see the power of that? Do you know what you have to do to add 1,300 people to your list, guys? It's a lot of work. And the last one, just talking about, again, corporate, the immediacy of the money available. Jennifer Bernstein, I love this. She's the president of Get Yourself into College. So this is an interesting one. How many of you have an audience? Like she's got the kid and the parent. Anybody in like a 2-step situation like that where you're not speaking directly to the decision maker? So again, I want you to listen from that place. She was a college English professor who knew only how to teach. Right after studying Speak to Sell, I did a small group talk. And when I got in the car, I realized I had made $6,000. I had to pull over and cry. I provided in-depth knowledge, and now I have a financially successful business. That's huge. So I share that with you because we're going to go through the formula now. And what would break my heart is if you somehow thought it wouldn't apply to you with what you're doing or you want to do, and I want to expand your thinking. Okay? Did that help? Yes. To see the possibilities? Okay, again, I want to lift you up, show you the new world. Yes?
Can I speak to you?
I don't know.
I speak to everyone, just to let you know.
You are.
Testimonial.
Yeah.
I only started teaching coaches as of maybe January. I went to your event, 2 events.
Yeah.
And I sold $40,000 building high-ticket items before I left her event.
Yeah.
First, I sold...
The people like here, right? The people are amazing from the JV perspective.
Event and another 20,000, I think. Somewhere around that, between 15 and 20, and the second event. And that was me still learning her system.
Yeah. It does work that fast. Well, you guys know.
It's no joke in terms of the Speak to Sell. And my wife signed me up without telling me.
Yay for the woman behind the tsunami. That's awesome.
You gotta look at this woman. I know you're a great speaker, but she's better, blah, blah, blah.
All right, Ronnie, I got to teach them some stuff, but I thank you, and congratulations. And, you know, for JVing, for sure, can you imagine, right, adding on our community of people who are speaking to sell, you can imagine that's where you're going to find the people that need to do a lot of the things that you want to do, that you're getting access to the teachings for here. It's pretty awesome. So let's go through the signature talk formula. There's 5 steps to it, and the principles I want to share with you now, and you guys can see how you can immediately apply this, right? Like who can already go focus more on the outcome? Yes. Right? Who can already go do something with what I shared with you about the bonuses? Go find bonuses and what you have? Yes. That is how fast our stuff works. You don't need to like get through the whole thing to monetize the investment immediately. So, I mean, JJ was just listening to the CD driving to San Diego from LA. That's a 2-hour drive. Okay, so step 1, module 1, is where we're gonna get into developing your irresistible offer. And that's what you have to do first, right? Do it with me, do it on your own, hire someone, however you're gonna do it. You've gotta start with the offer, and you've got to be able to articulate the exact words to say what you do unique from the 200 other belief change experts in the room, like we saw, right? Almost everybody has that as part of what they do in this room. So how do you find the words to share that you don't just do belief change work, you're an accelerated results mentor, right? Versus you are really the get unstuck with your children mentor. And then I know, like a dog whistle, who to go to. So that's where we start. Literally, before you're even in module 1, we have pre-work. It's like a magic formula that I figured out that gets that handled for my clients right away. It's the biggest pain of the entrepreneur, right? It's hard to distinguish yourself. So we've got to get that one handled for you to even be able to take full advantage of what you're going to structure here. So literally, it's like in your inbox when we get it, we blow your socks off right away. And that's a good strategy, right? You want to knock people's socks off right away. So, and we start with the irresistible offer. You've got to start, wait, from you guys are opposite me, so this would be the end for you, right? Beginning, end? Okay. So you've got to start with the end in mind. That's why we start with the offer, and that's why I did that work with you today. We touched into it today, because you've got to know where you're going. So that's step 1, is figuring out what's your irresistible offer, what's your bonuses, what's your limiter, what's the destination, and then how are we going to deliver it? Getting that part nailed. Make sense? And the tip here, the takeaway, is you've got to always start with the end. Most people jump in and say, okay, how am I going to package this? And they think about the service delivery. I want to have an event. Any of you done that? I want to have a teleseminar. That's a setup for failure. You've got to start with, what's the transformation I want to provide? Oh, I want to provide, like Rich and Milana, I'm sure did, I want to provide a space where entrepreneurs can come together and be able to joint venture and lift each other up and affiliate and show them how to do it and give them a community. And then they said, okay, what's the structure to get that done? Is that right, Rich? You start with the transformation. And that's why they have a winner here. And you need to do that too. So that's what you need to do, and that's what we'll do first as you enter getting your signature talk done. Number 2, this is, I'm going to say this about every point, by the way, this is huge. It's my favorite part, because it really all is. The next thing, so we get the end in mind, we know where we're going and how we're going to deliver it, the bonuses, the limiters, all of that. Now, we need to reverse engineer the rest of the talk so that it just leads perfectly and smoothly. Do you guys have like any surprise about where I'm going with this? Right? Am I going to like jump out behind the curtain and make you an offer for copywriting? You know, like, you don't have to be a covert operation. I know you're here because you're purposeful, you're heart-centered, you don't want to be salesy. You're making a case for this thing that you believe in. There's nothing needs to be sneaky about that. So we're going to now reverse engineer the body of the talk. And this is where most people struggle, because this is where you're talking from, a majority of the time. It's the meat. It's where you're going what we call deep dish. Deep dish, like today, we went deep dish on the irresistible offer. We talked about what an offer was, how to structure it, the limiters, right? How to create bonuses. We went deep on that. And we're going to show you how to go deep dish on one piece of what you offer in the course. Okay, we'll show you how to parcel it out and how to figure out what is the piece to go deep dish that really gives the magic to people, but without you, as I said, giving away the whole store. You want to give great stuff that they can immediately apply, but really be able to show them that, Rome wasn't built in a day. You've got, if they want the rest, to be able to show them what else is coming. Make sense? So we will show you how to get out of that trap of just kind of like over-teaching. How many of you have like given a talk and they're so filled up? Anybody done that? Like, by the time you finish talking, they could leave and have like 6 months of things to do. Why would they buy your offer? Yes. Right? So as you saw, you want things that are easy, they can immediately apply, they're powerful, and we'll show you how to find that within what you do. It's magic. You won't believe what you already have. I'm telling you, even if you're just getting started, you will not believe what you already have that you don't realize you have, just because you're an expert, just because you do what you do. but you will be able to see it. So we're going to reverse engineer the body of the talk and show you what to include in the middle. And you've got to figure this out. This is the second step for after you know where you're going, okay? Next, now this one will help you whether you're standing up for 30 seconds at a Latips club or you're doing your whole own talk. So next is about positioning yourself. And we're going to show you the exact points to position yourself that have to be included. Because it's not just about positioning you. You've got to position your audience. You've got to position what you're going to talk about. You've got to position the offer you're going to make. And it all happens in like 5 minutes. But those are some of the things you've got to be responsible for. So, you know, you can jot those. Position yourself, position your audience, right? Position your offer. And it's literally a fill-in-the-blanks signature talk generator. It's like a template. We ask you a question, and you fill in. This is my here. There's even some parts where we say this sentence. Do you know? So we know that this is something people struggle with, and we just want to make it happen for you. So I work hard, and every year, you know, this is our brand newest version that we just taught to our biggest room ever, an amazing group in May, is what we have ready for you right now. And all those results are coming from that. So one tip I want to give you about positioning yourself, we all know what it says here. Position yourself for credibility and trust, of course, right? So of course I got this great testimonial from Marnie, and then I shared about the Inc. 500, and I shared about doing millions of sales. You know, I wanted to build credibility with you. But here's the piece I want you to write down that most people are missing, and it's keeping you at a distance from your audience. And that is, you want the credibility, but you also need the vulnerability. So write that one down. Don't forget the vulnerability. You've got to know that I was figuring it out how to do it with a newborn and a 3-year-old. You've got to know that I was fired. This was not my idea. Like, you've got to know those things, you know, that I was supporting Michael through med school. Like, because I want you to see yourself. And I saw it when I shared with you ladies that have kids, you know. You've got to know about my turning point of having my kids be my reason instead of my excuse. So we will show you how to find that and really be able to powerfully share your own vulnerability. Did that weaken me in your eyes? No. It's not about self-deprecation or weakening you. It's about connecting, okay? And that will serve you with everything that you're doing. Now, this is one of the things people talk about the most from our teachings. The word is like, you know, used as like an industry standard, seeding. Seeding your content. So if you learn this skill, it's called seeding, and what it's about is, the definition is really creating hunger and desire in your audience without being salesy. How do you do that? How do you seed? And I want you to know that in the structure, we just show you exactly, you know, put this slide here, it's a seed. Let me give you a tip on one of the easiest ways to seed that you can use today. It's going to sound really easy, so don't let it fly by. Literally just mentioning, Seeding 101, just mentioning your clients. When you talk about my client or this person that I have that just graduated our marketing copy program, what does that do? It lets the people know you have clients. You have a program. That's a seed. I have been to more talks than I care to share about where a person gives amazing value, but you never really get any clue about if and how they work with people. I've seen people talk about amazing things, and in my head I'm thinking, I need that for my business. I need to know how to do that. But they never say, I was doing a VIP day, I was consulting, I had someone on a teleseminar, I had an event in May where this or that happens. And I never know, can I even plug in, or are they really more a keynote? So that's a simple idea, and that's how simple the 12 seeding techniques that we'll teach you are. And you only need to fall in love with like 3 of them. And you know, you could even just follow the structure because it's built in. Like, here's an example. This piece with Ari Galper that I shared, this was showing you the thing about bonuses, right? I didn't use it as a testimonial and say, oh, and Ari, after Ari spoke, someone wrote him and said, your system came across in such an authentic way compared to all the other speakers. Like, I never even read the testimonial. It was just up there. The seed is that I used it as a case study for the teaching point, which we were talking about reworking bonuses, and I taught you that. But wasn't it kind of cool to see how he used the signature talk? That's a seed. So it's the slight tweak. That's how easy this stuff is. It's the slight tweak between obnoxiously posting 1 million testimonials and using case studies that are audience-focused and teach. Pretty cool, right? This is how you have it feel good and still give people what they need to be able to say yes. And the fifth part is transitioning. Now, this is the one where so many of you are great teachers. You're, like the teacher I wrote about, you're great teachers, but it's like, like I said, you get up to the diving board and it's just like, do I have to do the sales part? So no, you don't really have to do the sales part. You can serve with an irresistible offer. You've opened possibility when you taught, so now let's give them the chance to say yes to themselves. Let's put that wedge in their life, give them a chance. They're not saying yes to you, they're saying yes to themselves. So we will show you how to invite pursuit. Invite pursuit. And what I want to teach you about transitioning is that it doesn't, I have big names. I'll never forget when Robert Allen wrote us and said, hey, can I send Lisa the last 15 minutes of my talk? To see, and it's like, if the answer is in the question, Grasshopper, if you think your close is in the last 15 minutes of the talk, we really need to talk, right? Because transitioning starts from the minute you stand up. Didn't I tell you right when I got up that I would be inviting you guys to be able to do this further with me after I showed you a new possibility? I was starting my transition there. We were like 3 minutes in, right? Remember that? So it's kind of fun to see it on the court. So the transition, we want to show you how easy it is to be transitioning all the way through so that there's never this big turn. We never made a huge U-turn into the offer. It's out, it's here, we're working on it, we're learning, it's contributing. So an example of one of the things we'll show you, again, that's built in just really our signature talk fill in the blank formula, is we'll say on your fourth bullet, choose one of these, like this fourth bullet here, in our signature talk generator, it just says, choose one of these to figure out, to put in, choose one of these 4 sentences as your fourth bullet, because this is what transitions people into when you make your offer. So in this case, you would say how you can X, Y, Z, how you can get whatever your outcome is. That's the fourth bullet, that's the transition bullet, that's part of the formula. See it now? Yes. Now, did you see it earlier? It's just there, right? Okay, she's taking a picture, okay. Don't worry, you'll get all this in the course. Seating. Now it's out of the bag. We can have some fun with it, right? Any of you ever studied with Adam Urbanski or seen him online? He's been around for a long time as a marketing mentor, and this was his thing. I remember when he came to get his signature talk ready, he went through the modules, and he was making presentations everywhere, but it was like a 2 or 3 step process. He had to follow up later. It wasn't happening on the spot. This is about giving you your life back. The signature talk is ready. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, and your clients are becoming your clients on the spot, right? All the hours of ad nauseum and reinventing and follow up, you don't need to do that anymore. You need to get good at this, and it's easy to do. So with Adam, after learning this transition pieces, just filling them into the presentation that he had, a lot of you are presenting, you can just use this to take yourself to the next level. He made 2 different 75-minute presentations to pretty small groups and did $85,000 in the back of the room sales. It was pretty good ROI, and this is someone in our circle. The other piece is, it's kind of overarching that I want to bring to your attention that you need to pay attention to in this circle, because again, it really makes a difference on how your partners respond to you and how your partners feel supported and by you. You've got to be able to do things like, and we'll teach you all these things, close delayers. What about the people that need to think about it? What do you say? What do you do? How long do you hold on? How do you invite pursuit versus pursue? This is a sales training course, do you get it? Lead collection, like you heard from our health coach, Rochelle. She's collected 1,300 leads from opportunities that people would have said no to because they thought they couldn't make money. Do you know what she's going to make from those 1,300 leads? She'll do her signature talk on a teleseminar to them. You know, she'll just invite them all to a call and use her signature talk. Retaining sales from events. Sure, having people run to the back of the room is one thing, but how do you keep them? When the next person goes and they say, oh, I changed my mind, I want to work with you instead, right? I mean, number one, they're creating bad business karma for themselves. You guys know that, right? Like, you want refunds? Be a refunder. Seriously. I don't refund, and we don't have refunds in my business, barely. So it's a karma thing. So by you retaining sales and really getting people in, you don't just serve you serve them, right? Keep them from doing that to themselves. So all of these things, you know, how to use the signature talk on teleseminars, what do you do the moment you step off the stage or you end the teleseminar, we show you how to use your signature talk in all of these circumstances. Now I want to give you one thing. Can you handle one more thing that you can apply right away? I know it's a lot. I just really want to blow you guys over with value for what you can use with each other. That's what I'm committed to. Sorry, I have a runny nose. I might have an allergic to something. Stick strategies. This is one. So when I talk about the third thing down, retaining sales from events, here's a quick one you can use right away. Stick strategies. So keeping the sales you've made. You work so hard. How do you keep the sales? And an example of that is what I shared with you already. You want to get people started right away. So for example, when you invest with yourself today, we will get the #1 problem that most entrepreneurs have solved out of the gate. Literally, this will be in your inbox before you even get home, which is, how do I find the words to finally communicate what I uniquely do? It's literally a little set of questions. You do the exercise. It will blow you away. You will finally be able to articulate, not in marketing speak, but in the actual words of your ideal clients. So we start you there, right? And that's a stick strategy. We want to get you in right away. We don't want your head spinning, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? What, you know, is this real? I should ask my uncle if he thinks it's a good idea. You don't want people doing that, right? You want them in and starting to enjoy the transformation that they provide. So you might be wondering, Lisa, that's a lot, right? That is like so cool, but can you really help me with that easily, right? Can I fit it in? Is it really as templated as you said? Doing the irresistible offer, reverse engineering the talk, positioning myself, seeding, transitioning, tools that I can use throughout my business. So would you like to see exactly how we do it? Are you ready? Oh, plus, all those 5 steps I just covered on the signature talk, they're written down that you can keep. You want it? All right. This is our summary sheet. If you could pass that out. This has a summary of the 5 steps to getting your signature talk done. You can have that. Okay? You need to follow that recipe. And you want to get a pen out because there's probably a couple notes. I'm sure you're taking notes already, but there's probably a few notes that you'll want to take on the summary sheet. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Are we really giving this to the first people today? Ah! Okay, I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so does everybody have one?
Yes.
You're good, Andrea. You're good. Okay, so this is how we do it. This is exactly how we do it. You see all the 5 steps are there. That really is the core modules of getting the talk done, plus all of that list I went over about keeping delayers and stick strategies and what to do when you step off a live stage. And we do it all through what we call the Speak to Sell Virtual Boot Camp. So it is literally, you can do it from anywhere. You can do it at any time. We give you immediate access online. Plus, Andrea, can you hold up what we'll ship them? We'll ship you the CDs and the DVDs. Look back at Andrea. She's right there where I will meet you in a moment. The CD and DVD packs are inside, right? So you can have it in your car. You can have it by your computer. You can log on online, be in our community. Great place to keep expanding your reach with JVs and affiliates. We do it through the virtual boot camp. You get it shipped to you. You get it online. And I'll show you a few other things. When you invest in yourself right away, we give you the pre-work. Again, like I said, our stick strategies to knock your socks off right away. We will help you find the words to say what you do so you can take that into what we're going to build together. The other thing, for those of you, there was about 50 of you that raised your hand and said, yes, I think I need to know my system. I need to know how I do what I do. You are sitting on a gold mine. My biggest breakthrough was seeing my 5-step system. It's what allowed me to teach hundreds instead of one-on-one. So we will also, as pre-work, give you our system to help you find your system. You have a unique branded system. It's just not branded. You haven't seen it yet, but we will show you how to look for it and find it easily. And once you know how to say what you do and you know the system of how you do it, you're on fire. You get your signature talk and your offer together, and it's all open. Now, you might be saying, what if I'm just getting started? As I shared with you, there's no better way to get on your dime than be interviewed, speak free. It is the best way that you'll have the exact words to be able to speak from a stage, teleseminar, interview. When Oprah called, you'll be ready. If I don't have a product to sell, this is how I created every product that I have, was speaking on a 5-part teleseries and turning it into a product. But you want to be not just creating content, you want to be seeding. You want it reverse engineered to go to your next thing, right? You came in on an online experience and now you're here in a live room. Rich and Milana know how to do this. It was all reverse engineered to give you this awesome experience. You need to do that. Don't build anything more, please. Don't write your book until you come and learn how to seed and reverse engineer. I have people crying saying, why didn't I meet you before I wrote my book? Or if you already wrote your book, we'll show you what you can do with it now to put it as a tool into this model. What if I don't teach people how to make money? Well, I think you've already seen. We have people helping get into college. We have people with the relationships. Marnie, is just one of the top experts in how to have awesome relationships, corporate. One of our big recent multi-million-dollar success stories, Carrie Ann, she teaches minority professors how to win tenure. And she uses this model. So you really can enjoy it in every situation. And Lisa, what if I'm not a speaker? That's why I'm here. I'm not a speaker. I don't even really have a keynote fee. I'm not even sure what I would charge, honestly. It's, you are a change agent. That's who you are. And you need the tools to be able to do your work the way that it was intended for you, the way that God intended it for you. So we have the Speak to Sell virtual bootcamp. It's online. It comes to your door. And in the first quarter, we'll let you get through the holidays. I will be walking you through it. So you can go at it as fast as, if you have a talk coming, you can go through the whole thing now, and then we will have a 5-call series together where you can ask all your questions, ask me to help you with things. I've been teaching this for 5 years, upgrading it every year, and I have never had a question go unanswered. I'm very proud of that. Thank you very much. I'm committed to it, I'm committed to you, and I'm very excited to get to know you and work with you in that way. Plus, you will have a bonus ticket to come out to our live event, which is happening in May in Las Vegas, and be with our Speak to Sell community and learn all the nuances. We'll work on your talk from now through then, and then you'll learn the nuances. And as Ronnie says, a lot of people make a lot of money just from the connections and the bookings that happen in that room. I did a raise of hand once. 70% of the people raised their hand that they could book you. They have telesummits, they have groups that they interview speakers for, they have stages, they have radio shows. It's crazy what goes on there. So you will be invited to participate there as well. Now, that's a $5,000 value to come both to the event and the online course to receive the 5-part teleseries bonus with me. I only do it once a year that I walk you through it. So this is the time if you want to work with me versus just home study. We sell it online for $2,000, so if you can't make it with me now, you can always do it online as a home study, but I would love the opportunity to help you. I genuinely would. We price it there at that $2,000 price point because I really know, and I've seen it, and it's my path too, that if you can trust yourself to just open your mouth, plug in the formula, and do your talk at least once, you can monetize this. This can be a no-brainer for you. Also, I've teased you with this a lot, but we really are going to bring it to you here. For those of you that know you're ready to go, we want you to be able to get booked easily. So we've got resources, we've got the letters that I use, the tools that you need to put together. No glossy brochure required. It's all email, simple headshots. You can put this together very quickly. But this is why when you Google my name, you get a whole pages and pages, because I've used these exact tools to get booked. And everywhere you get booked, they promote you. So you'll be online everywhere without you having to go do the online work. They have to put your name up to let their people know. So we will give you the tips to get booked and get started and the exact tools to do that right away. Now, I don't think there's much more to say. You guys get it, right? We're going to give this to you in all the forms. You are going to have your signature talk done for the coming year. And you've got the live event. You've got the shipped product. You've got the time with me. We're also going to show you how to take it into the teleseminar. So for those of you that are using webinars, teleseminars, telesummit, if you're doing summits, you need this. You can also support your speakers. You need them to be good. And the very last thing that I want to share with you is something that I've never actually given from the stage, but I'm really thrilled that you, how many do we have? 34. So the first 34 of you that decide you want to study with me, and you're going to go for it right now, this is called our Speak to Sell Masters series. So I made this for me, and then everybody kept asking me for copies, so we turned it into a product. It sells out every year at Christmas. It's the best, you know what it is, right? It's the best gift for the speakers in your life, or the experts in your life, or for yourself. What it is it's 10 Speak to Sell talks from start to finish, plus the order form of 10 different people, different experts from different fields, finances, health, my talk, all on a little USB. And the fun part is, I see a lot of ladies in the room, 6 out of the 10 are ladies. That's very hard to find, and all are selling $20,000 to $200,000. So you're gonna have 10 talks, different experts, and their order form on this little USB. This is $500. You can buy it on our website. We have 34 of them, and it's called the Speak to Sell Masters. It's got John Assaraf, Mike Koenigs, JJ Virgin, Lisa Cherney, Suzanne Falter-Barnes, Tim Kelly, all doing $20,000 to $200,000. Oh, Ari Galper as well, $20,000 to $200,000 stage. Pretty cool, yeah? I put this in anytime I'm traveling, I'm on a plane, I stick it in my computer, I watch a rock talk, I get the energy of someone that just closed a whole room, right? I look at the order forms for ideas. This is awesome. We have 34 left. We just did our Christmas sale, so you can kind of help blow it out for the end of the year. And to make it a total no-brainer, at this event only, you can just go to the back and grab the whole thing for $997. The course, this, or 2 payments of $597. So all there is to do at this point is just grab your order form. Probably don't need to think about it too hard at this point. If the, oh my God, I wasn't going to do this is bubbling up, you know, that's your head. And if you're feeling it in your heart, I would probably defer to that. So you know what you need. And I know for a lot of us, it's time for us to work together. We've been, you know, conversing online. You've been following me for a long time. Most of the speakers that you're seeing here are my students. Marcia Weeder, she's a graduate of our Event Profit Secrets work. Milana is my student. Rich is my student. Sage Levine that you saw last night is my student. It really, you know, to be able to use this talk to do what they do. Why do you know them? Because they have this tool. So I'm thrilled to be getting to work with so many of you. I will be back here. This is a this break only offer. And you know, you can always wait. It's $19.97 online, but I really would love to teach you in the first quarter live on the line from wherever you are. Oh, and if you can't make it, you can submit questions, and I'll answer them anyway. So you can submit them during the course of the course. All right, thank you, everybody. I adore you. I appreciate your attention and your love. You're awesome. I can't wait to see you in the JV world. Thank you. Thank you.